There's this invisible point that decides everything. It's the reason something can stand for centuries or, well, fail in a flash. It's a secret of physics that's literally all around us, in ancient wonders and in our most modern machines. So let's dive in and uncover exactly what's going on. So, what in the world connects a famous leaning tower in Italy to a modern tragic air disaster? I mean, they couldn't seem more different, right? But believe it or not, they're tied together by the exact same law of physics. One of them followed the rule, and the other tragically broke it. Okay, let's unpack these two stories, these two puzzles, and we're going to start with an incredible piece of architecture that has, for centuries, thumbed its nose at gravity. Ah, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I mean, come on, you've seen pictures of it, right? It's famous because it looks like it's about to topple over at any second. But here's the crazy part. For over 800 years, it hasn't. It just leans. So the big question is, how? How is it still standing? All right, now let's shift gears to a much more recent and a really tragic story. We're talking about National Airlines Flight 102. This was a huge cargo plane taking off in 2013. But just moments after its wheels left the ground, something went horribly, catastrophically wrong. The plane stalled, and it just fell. So what could make a machine that powerful lose all control, just like that? Okay, so the secret that ties these two stories together, it's an idea that some of the greatest minds in history, I mean, we're talking Archimedes, Galileo, they were obsessed with it. And get this, Galileo actually did some of his famous experiments right there at the Tower of Pisa. They were both chasing this one powerful concept. And that concept really comes in two flavors, you could say. You've got the center of mass, and you've got the center of gravity. They're super similar, but the main difference is this. Center of mass is all about where the stuff of an object is concentrated. Center of gravity, on the other hand, is about where the weight of that stuff is concentrated. It's about how gravity pulls on it. But here's a little shortcut for us. For basically anything here on Earth, a tower, a plane, even you, the pull of gravity is pretty much the same all over. So what that means is the center of mass and the center of gravity are in the exact same spot. So from here on out, we're just going to call it the center of gravity. It's that one magic point of balance. So, back to our first mystery, how does this invisible point explain how the Tower of Pisa is still standing, leaning and all? Let's take what we've just learned and apply it. Okay, this right here is the golden rule. This is the whole secret, so listen close. An object is stable only if a straight line drawn straight down from its center of gravity lands somewhere inside its base. You can think of the base as its footprint on the ground. As long as that line is inside the footprint, it's stable. So let's apply that to Pisa. Look, as the tower leaned more and more over the years, its center of gravity shifted sideways, right? But, and this is the genius part, engineers have made sure that if you imagine dropping a line straight down from that point, it still lands inside the tower's base. Now, it's getting pretty darn close to the edge, no doubt, but as long as it's inside, even by a little bit, the tower stays up. So there you have it. That's the secret to Pisa's stability. But now, let's look at what happens when that very same rule is broken. We're going to go from a story of incredible stability to one of a sudden, catastrophic failure. For Flight 102, the whole thing was over in less than 30 seconds. It's just unbelievable. Seconds after takeoff, a chain reaction started. The plane's nose shot up way too high. It lost speed, it stalled, and then it fell. It happened so fast. So here's what was happening inside that plane. The cargo was 5 huge, heavy military vehicles, and they weren't tied down properly. On takeoff, they broke free and slid all the way to the back of the plane. And that one event instantly and violently shifted the plane's center of gravity way back, way outside the safe zone for flying. The nose just jerked upwards, and the pilots had no way to push it back down. And to make a horrible situation even worse, that sliding cargo also destroyed the plane's rear flight controls. At that point, a recovery was literally impossible. Wow. So what's the big takeaway from these two incredibly different stories? Well, the lesson from both the tower and the plane is actually a really simple, universal rule. And it doesn't just apply to buildings and aircraft. It applies to everything. It applies to you. It all boils down to this, really. If you want something to be stable, you do 2 things. 1, keep its center of gravity low, and 2, make sure that point always stays within its base of support. Low and inside, that's the key. And once you know this, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Seriously, think about a double-decker bus. It's way more stable with passengers on the bottom deck, right? Or race cars. They're built so low to the ground they're almost scraping it. That's all for stability in the turns. Even when you're just loading up your car for a trip, you put the heaviest stuff on the bottom, in the middle. And think about your own body. If you're on a wobbly surface, what's the first thing you do? You spread your feet apart, right? You're making your base of support wider to become more stable. See? You already knew this instinctively. It's this invisible point, but once you know about it, you just can't unsee it. You see its influence everywhere. It's there when a toddler is learning how to walk, trying to keep their balance. It's in the design of a massive skyscraper, engineered to be stable against the wind. Understanding this isn't just some neat physics trivia. It's a really deep lesson about balance, about risk, and about what it takes to be stable in the world. So now, the next time you see anything, whether it looks like it's about to fall or like it could stand forever, ask yourself, where is its center of gravity?